What's up, everybody? It's been a minute. I am back with another video, and today we're going to walk through 5 things I wish I knew before I started selling on Amazon. So I'm currently 1 year into Amazon. I have done 1.1 million in sales. Obviously, that's not profit, but there is a lot of stuff that I learned and a lot of stuff that I would do over again, and we're going to cover that today. If you guys don't know me, my name is Parker. I'm a former D1 athlete who started selling on Amazon, and I've made this content just to help you guys out. So let's dive into the video. I made a little presentation. All right. So as you guys can see, I did $1 million in my first year on Amazon, and it was all online arbitrage. A lot of people think that when you have a ton of sales, you're not going to be able to scale it because you need to do wholesale or private label. For me, I was able to scale it with online arbitrage, and that's essentially buying products from retail stores and selling it on the Amazon platform. 100% legit products. We're not buying from China and anything like that. So the first thing I realized very, very quickly is that sourcing takes time. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time. There was weekends where I went like 5 to 8 hours sourcing, and I did not find a single product. It was extremely frustrating. It's just something that you're going to have to deal with at the very beginning. I use SellerAmp to find a lot of my product with storefront stocking. It becomes a lot easier as you go. What I've typically seen is like if you hit the 3-month stage, you start to get a lot better. You start to understand, okay, I found a couple discounts this way, whether it's like a discount gift card or a sale or a tax exempt. Like there's so many strategies that you can use. And then you just hit on a couple of those and you're like, okay, this works every single time almost. It's just going to take time for you to learn those methods. And basically what happens with this is most people just quit. Within like 2 to 3 months, most people are done in this business. It's just too much of a side hustle for them. They never really took it that serious. And those who stick around will win. That's what I was able to do. I went all in on this. I made an LLC. Like if you treat this like an actual business, you're going to stick around and you're going to be there for a while. The second thing I did was make friendships, because when you log onto the computer doing this, it's not like a project that you do at school. Because like I hated working with people on like school projects. If you're in like a class, I just dreaded working with other people. This is a little bit different though, because you need to make friends when you're doing this, because you're just sitting on the computer all the time. And it becomes so frustrating when you don't have anyone to like vent to, because you can't really tell your significant other or like other friends because they're just not going to understand this. But when you have Amazon friends, it's actually really fun to talk to them about it. And the way I found mine was just posting on social media. I posted for a year straight on Twitter, pretty much every day, close to every day. And I documented my journey. It doesn't have to be like content that you see like on Instagram Reels and stuff. It can literally just be like a picture of your packages, like a joke, anything that you put on there, people will find you. Everyone is looking for friends too. That's the biggest thing. I met 2 other sellers that were all in with me. We started talking daily. I actually just got an apartment with 2 of them, which is crazy to think about. We didn't even know each other this time last year. And we're going to like stay in that apartment together. We're going to work on our business. But you just never know the relationships that you're going to see until you put yourself out there. It's very, very important to source with other people as well, because let's say they've been doing these products and you didn't even think about those, because Amazon has so many brands and so many categories that you might not even think, oh, like grocery or like pet food, or like you didn't even think about that and someone else has been selling it. Now they've put you on that and you're like, well, I've been doing like clothing and apparel. You put them on that, and now you're like growing your store just because you met somebody else, and there is enough volume to go around. You're not going to spoil your leads with just a couple other people. Another myth that I've seen, and what I kind of thought, is everybody asked me like, what do I need to get started? Well, realistically, you don't need anything. I used a 0% APR card, and what that is essentially a free loan for a whole year. Some of these cards are also like 16, 15 months. But basically, I put all of my inventory on that card. I put all of my expenses. I had a couple thousand in the bank, but I didn't want to use my own money. I was going to use a essentially free loan. Now, this is not what I would recommend for everyone, but this is what I did, because this card actually for the first time this month is a 30-day card now, because it's been a whole year. But I leveraged this card for 11 months, just chipping away the balance from profits of Amazon, running the balance, paying it off, running the balance, paying it off. And so you can start small with like a card like this. If you can get approved for it, like with an LLC, you're going to have to make an LLC because this is a business card. You can start small and test the waters. And you have to realize like these softwares are only $40 a month. So you have SellerAmp, you have a 14-day free trial with that. And I'll drop that in the description. and then Keepa's like $21 a month. So realistically, like $40 per month is nothing for like expenses in this business. And the rest of it is like poly bags are 7 cents. And then you have the Amazon seller account is $40. So realistically, like $100 a month. And then you have to put whatever you can into inventory. Another thing is like very rarely do you lose money on a product. Very rarely have I ever returned anything. If you had to, like absolutely, you can do that. I wouldn't recommend it. Like it's just not a good look for the retailer. But you have to think like if you buy 10 items and they're just not selling, you like technically could return them, which makes this business a lot less risky. If you have the products on hand, you could always move them on another platform. It doesn't tank like you think it is. It would have to tank like, because we're trying to sell the products almost double the price. So if it tanked like $10, you'd still maybe lose like $2 to $3 on each item. Like very rarely does that happen. It's normally break even and it's disappointing. But you still got the credit card cash back. You still got the top cash back, the Rakuten. Like it's a business that's hard to lose money. You just might not be like turning it over as fast as you would want to. But that's what I use to scale. Very early on, I was going in the store and scanning products. I think it's super valuable to just kind of like see the product, understand the names of stuff like in person. And like RA is really good because you can have the product same day in hand and then sell it that day, like that night. You don't have to order it, wait for it to come in and then sell it. You can go ahead and sell it. It can just help you understand like the functions, how to send stuff out, how to create like listings much quicker than if you kind of just like go all OA. And there's a lot bigger discounts in store. So like the margins as a retail arbitrage beginner is very higher than what you're going to find online, if that makes sense. I've also noticed that people who are willing to go in store, like they just do really well. They're essentially going all in on this. If you're one of those people that are thinking, I would never go in the store, like that's just not something I would do, you're probably not going to have that much success with this because it takes like the willingness to go all in on this and do whatever possible to make those first few sales. And then you can like scale back, learn online arbitrage. But I just think the willingness to go in the store is huge. And then like going in the store is more relationship. Like you can talk to the manager, people around you might be looking at you, seeing what you're doing. But that mindset of like, I don't care what anyone thinks is exactly what it takes to win on online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. Like just arbitrage in general, you're going to sort of be like breaking rules, but not really rules. And it can like mentally kind of, I don't know. I feel like it messes with a lot of people, but the ones who can just like go all in, not really care, they are the ones that are going to win in the end. Lastly, FBM is very, very important if you want to grow quickly. So essentially FBM is where you're shipping the products out yourself. You don't have to send it into an Amazon fulfillment center, which is FBA, the term that pretty much everyone knows. A lot of people don't really know that FBM, you can sell it same day. The labels are super easy to print. You're just going to print it out through Amazon and you're going to drop it off at either USPS or UPS. This for me was what I use like to turn over my money super quick. And the reason is because let's think about this. You order a product from a website. It's probably going to take like 4 to 5 days. And then you have to pack it up, which might take a day. And then you're going to have to ship it to an Amazon fulfillment center if you do FBA. And that's going to take like a week or two to check in. So it's really 3 weeks before you even see your first sale. Whereas if you go in the store, grab something off the shelf, list it in store on your app, on your phone, FBM, you could sell that product the same day and literally have that shipped out next morning. And that turnover for me, since I didn't have a lot of capital, was super important. I was turning the capital over. They'll pay you out like 14 days after it delivers. So you could be turning over your money every 14 days if you can find good products in store. Now, not every listing is going to be FBM friendly, but it's something that you got to look at. If there's other FBM sellers on there and they're making money, then you can probably do it too. It also speeds up your knowledge. So you're going to know very, very quickly because you listed it FBM right when you got it. If it sells, you're like, okay, I made the right decision. This is a product that sells fast. Whereas if you send it FBA, you're not going to know for another 2 weeks whether this was a good or bad buy. So your knowledge kind of slows down to where someone who like listed it same day, they could know 2 days later, okay, this was a mistake. I learned from it. Now I'm better. Whereas the other person who's sending only FBA, they're going to have to sit there and wait and wonder. They could be sourcing other poor products and making the same mistakes before they even learn. It's also a lot less complex to ship at the very beginning. Neither one is super hard, but FBM is just super easy. And then this was actually a picture during Christmas. Also during back to school season, FBM is very, very elite because all of the FBA supply, like the prime supply, runs out typically. And then it's kind of like all on the FBM sellers to hold up the supply of the entire country. And so you can get, like, say I'm in Georgia. I was getting 1,000,000 Georgia orders because I can get it to the customer faster than Amazon can when they're backed up in the FBA fulfillment center, if that makes sense. So FBM is super key. I would do it as a beginner, and it was very important to my fast growth. That's all I got today. I appreciate you guys sticking to the end of the video. Please drop a subscribe or a like if you enjoyed the video, and I have a 14-day free trial for SellerAmp in the description.